Have you ever been told to expose to the right and then panicked when your histogram looked like a cliff edge on the right hand side? Yep, I've been there too. Most people completely misunderstand what exposing to the right actually means, and worse, they end up ruining their photos trying to follow it. In this video, I'm going to explain why exposing to the right is still a powerful tool, but only if you're using it properly. You'll learn what exposing to the right really is, where the idea came from, how it works, and why it's not about overexposing your photos. I'll also show you how to use it with my camera, even without modern metering modes, and how you can make it work with yours too. When I first picked up a DSLR all those years ago, one of my tutors introduced me to ETTR, exposed to the right. I didn't fully understand why at the time, I just took his word for it and used that approach ever since. But I'm not someone who likes to just follow advice blindly. I like to know the why, so I did the research. Exposing to the right was originally popularized by renowned digital photography pioneers Michael Reichmann and Schewe on luminous landscape way back in 2003, early days for digital photography. Reichmann said you could get a better signal-to-noise ratio if you intentionally overruled the camera's meter and moved the exposure to the right of the histogram. Together with Schewe, who also wrote extensively on digital workflows and raw processing, they helped a generation of photographers shift from film thinking to digital sensor thinking. And that idea has stood the test of time, even as sensor technology has improved, because the physics haven't changed. And if you're into this sort of no-nonsense, straightforward information, be sure to download my ebook. It's completely free when you sign up for my monthly newsletter, and the link's for you in the description later. So what is ETTR really? Exposing to the right means pushing your histogram as far to the right as possible without clipping your highlights, and that's to maximize the quality of your raw file. Now here's the analogy that helped me. Imagine your histogram is a city skyline. Each stop of light is a building. The shadows on the left, they're like little bungalows. The midtones, they're your regular office blocks. But the highlights on the right, they are the massive skyscrapers. They hold a lot more detail. So when you expose a bit brighter, just before clipping, you're putting more of your image into those skyscrapers, which are exponentially bigger than the bungalows. You get cleaner files, smoother gradients, and more flexibility in post. But, and this is crucial, exposing to the right is not overexposing. If you clip important highlights, that information is gone. It's about controlled brightening, not blown out whites. But shouldn't I underexpose to protect highlights? That's a good question, and I hear it often. Yes, if you're shooting in JPEG or dealing with a high contrast scene, underexposing to protect the highlights makes sense. But if you're shooting in RAW and you're planning to edit, and why wouldn't you, underexposing means you're pushing your detail back to the shadows, back down into those little bungalows where sensor noise lives. Exposing to the right, when done correctly, helps you avoid that. And one more thing to watch out for, the histogram and blinkies you see on the back of your camera, they're based on the JPEG preview, not the RAW file. That means your camera might be warning you of clipped highlights, but the RAW file still has plenty of data. Learn to compare what you see on camera to what you get in Lightroom or Capture One. That's how you build confidence in ETTR. Now before we carry on, I could really use your help. At the time of recording this channel has just passed 3,000 subscribers, which blows me away. And one of my recent videos has so far hit over 30,000 views, which is incredible. But here's the thing, that means around 90% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. So if you're enjoying this and it resonates with you, could you do me a massive favor? Hit subscribe, it's free, and it really helps this channel reach more photographers just like you. Thank you, it really is appreciated. Right, where were we? Okay, bonus tip time, and this one's a bit personal. I shoot with the Canon 5 DSR, and no, it doesn't have highlight weighted metering like some of the newer Nikons or the mirrorless cameras, but I've still been exposing to the right effectively for years. When I use evaluative metering and keep an eye on my histogram, I can nudge my exposure manually or maybe with exposure compensation until I'm just below clipping. So if you want to learn how far you can push your camera, try this. Take a contrasty scene, shoot a baseline exposure, then shoot a few frames slightly overexposed, half a stop, a full stop, maybe a stop and a half. Then pull them back in the edit. You'll start to see how much headroom your sensor actually has. And if you do have high light weighted metering, that's a nice bonus, but it's not absolutely essential. The secret is knowing your camera, not just following settings blindly like I kindly did all those years ago. So if you're still shooting safe and underexposed, maybe it's time to move on. What have you got to lose? If this video helped you understand exposing to the right better, drop a like and subscribe. It really does help others find this channel. And if you want more straightforward photo tips that actually make sense, why not watch this one next? And what are your thoughts on exposing to the right? I'd love to hear from you. I read and respond to every comment. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.